Okay, in this video, we are going to review the very last of the Focus 4, electrocution. And so, what we need to think about are, first of all, let's give a definition of what technically is an electrocution and what it is. So electrocution results when a person is exposed to a lethal amount of electrical energy. And an electrical hazard can be defined as a serious workplace hazard that exposes workers to one of the following, or maybe even all of the following: burns, electrocution, shock, arc flash, or also arc blast, fire, and explosions. And so, in terms of OSHA, we have a term we call be safe. And it helps you to kind of think about all the electrical hazards, what they are, and to, again, you're going to have to be able to define the hazard, how we stay safe from the hazard, what are the company's responsibilities. And so therefore, be safe by recognizing, avoiding, and protecting against all of these electrical hazards. These be safe terms are defined as, and so burns, we have a definition: electrocution, shock, arc, flash, blast, fire, and explosion. You will have to be able to define each of those, know the difference between each of those. Okay, so electrocutions actually cause 9% of workers' deaths in construction. So it is 9% of the 1,200 workers' deaths in 1 year, 9% of those is caused by electrocution. So just like everything in the construction industry, we need to just be aware. And I don't know what's worse, if you fall or get electrocuted, but that is why electrocution is in our focus, or fatal for. Okay, and so let's focus on what are the types of electrical hazards that you would face in the construction industry. These are things you're going to have to think about. Also, you're going to have to go to the construction standards book and find the particular standard. Okay, so contact with overhead power lines. Okay, fatalities are the possibility. I mean, that's what we're talking about. Okay, when we're talking about overhead power lines, they run an extremely high amount of voltage through them, and so there are ways for us to stay safe. Contact with energized sources, that's another one. And so we have to make sure we know how to follow the lockout, tagout procedures with energized equipment to avoid that. Okay, 3, improper use of extension and flexible cords we see all the time. And so those are really the 3 most concentrated or most detailed, most studied hazards with respect to electrocution. 1, again, overhead power lines. 2, contact with energized sources, and the improper use of flexible and extension cords. Right, so when we focus on the training, which you'll be focusing on a few things: how to maintain a safe distance from overhead power lines. There are standards related to the amount of power or amperage coming through that, voltage coming through the lines. And so based on that, you have to be a particular distance away. And so that's based on the OSHA standards. So you got to understand what that is, what those numbers are, and get those numbers planted inside your head, especially if you are in management. It's very important. Okay, here we'll also discuss, you'll study about the use of GFCIs, right, ground fault circuit interrupters. Okay, we're talking about portable tools now and extension cords. Also responsible for electrocution hazards. Okay, and then last but not least, the lockout, tagout procedures, what they are. Okay, and so creating a clearance, the clearance distances You'll have to, that is in your study, make sure you understand, okay, and general procedures, okay? So review all of that in detail, and remember, everything is from the perspective of what is a hazard, how do I protect myself, and what are my owner's responsibilities, okay? If you have any questions, make sure you email me using the form in the module, and make sure to not go to, now you would be going on to the non-mandatory, actually, you'll be going on to, after this class, most probably health hazards in construction or PPE. But please don't go to the next module until I've let you know that you've successfully passed this test. See you soon.